have here today Aman, a finalist in the 2022 edition of the Miss Canada pageant. Thank you so much for joining me. For those that don't know you, can you give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself?
Oh, geez. Okay. An introduction. Well, my name's Aman. Obviously, I'm 22 years old and I live in British Columbia, Canada, obviously for Miss Canada. I just recently graduated with my degree in kin. So I'm just starting a job, working in the field that I want to work in. And yeah, that's really who I am.
So, obviously, we're here because you're competing in the Miss Canada pageant. Congratulations on getting into the final. You must be so excited.
I am, as I'm probably are you.
I am also very excited, yes. What inspired you to enter into the Miss Canada pageant?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, a very long time ago, aka 3 years ago, I competed in my first pageant, and that was Miss BC. So I
Uh-huh.
competed in 2019, and I competed with Christine. I don't know if you know who Christine is, but Christine
Yes,
won Miss
former winner.
BC. Yeah, and
Yes.
then she went on to win Miss Canada. And I remember speaking to her, and she was like, you know what, like this is something that you would love to do. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go on a whim and I'm gonna compete at Miss BC. So, like totally out of my comfort zone. I'm like competing and it didn't even feel like competing. It was just like having fun with a bunch of friends.
Mhm.
And, like I went on to win Miss Lower Mainland BC. So I do have a title. Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was honestly like one of the best experiences. And since then, it's just been kind of like I want to compete at another pageant. I've done a couple of virtual pageants, but Miss Canada I feel like really drives home personality and community and just like
Mhm.
value and service, and that's something that I really value. So that's why I'm here competing with them.
Amazing. So it sounds like you're a bit of a pageant professional. Not only have you
Lord.
competed in them before, you have a title under your name. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really fun, like, especially with the title. We get to volunteer, and like, obviously, you get to be part of the sisterhood, and there's so much that just comes with the title and with your year. My year actually turned into 3 years, so Miss BC hasn't had a pageant in, I believe, 2 to 3 years now. So our titles
Over,
have been
I guess.
extended. Yeah.
That's nice. You're probably the longest reigning Miss BC ever. Put that one on the
Miss
resume.
Lower Mainland BC. Hmm.
Yes, perfect. Some people refer to winning a title as a year of service. So, in your case, 3 years of service. What did that look like? You mentioned that you were volunteering. I imagine there was some event appearances. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So honestly, when I won my first title, I really didn't know what pageants entailed and, like what a title meant. So I think when I won it, it was more so, oh my gosh, like I won a title. This is so exciting. Like there wasn't really much value behind it.
Mhm.
So coming up in the next year or so, it just kind of hit me where it was like, you know what, like being a title holder, you are kind of a representative of the organization and a role model to younger women. So I started volunteering with just like organizations like the Big Brothers Big Sisters Foundation. I've been working with the Save Your Skin Foundation for like the last 4 or 5 years now, and just attending little events here and there. But that kind of drove me to wanting to do more, which is why I'm competing now, because I've actually written, published, and self illustrated a children's book about physical differences like vitiligo, which is what I have.
Yes.
And I just really want to drive that home as Miss Canada.
Who is the target audience for that?
Oh, kids ranging from ages 3 to 5. So we're talking kindergarten, preschool, grade 1, grade 2. Yeah,
Wonderful. I imagine for that age group, it has some pretty illustrations. Is that something you did, or did you partner with someone?
I did not partner with anybody. It is all me. So if you see some
Wow.
little ugly doodles,
Oh, I'm sure they're not ugly at all.
I mean, I really tried. I mean, I do paint. I do like art, so I did try my best. So hopefully they are to people's likings. Yeah, no, the book just kind of follows a little kid named Ira, 4 or 5, kind of the age range that I'm looking to hit. So it follows Ira, who has vitiligo, who has one spot on his eye, just like I do. And it just kind of talks about how I think like I'm gonna tell you the opening lines. So the book goes, "Hi, I'm Ira, and I've got spots. So listen up, everybody. I'd like to share some thoughts. I know I look different, and that is fair, but with you, I would like some of my feelings I'd like to share. And then
I
it just
love
kind of
it.
goes into yeah, no, it goes into more about him and what he likes to do in his time, you know, what
Mhm.
he grew up doing, and it goes more into him as a person than it does about what he looks like on the outside. And then at the
Yes.
very end we repeat the very same clause. So it just kind of, hopefully it'll give little kids the understanding of, I might look a little different, but I'm just like you. So
Yeah. I think
yeah.
that the more people you meet, the more you realize that we are all more similar than we are different.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to drive home. So, with the book, I'm going to be reading it at local libraries, and I'm partnering with this football team that's local to Chilliwack. So, we're going to be reading with
Uh-huh.
kids that way. We've also started a YouTube channel. There's so much going on. I'm actually in the works of meeting with the Abbotsford Board of Education to discuss hoping to get this book into all of the schools in my local area. So it's just a lot going on right now.
That sounds wonderful. You've got some really big plans there. I guess the
Yeah,
great thing about a book as well is that distribution doesn't need to end in your region. That's something that you can
yeah.
push out everywhere. Have you considered talking to publishers about this?
I definitely have. I just prefer the book to be more of a charity donation. So with
Mhm,
every book purchased, I believe we're going to be pricing our book at around $25-$30 a book.
mhm,
But with every book purchased, more than 50% of that is going towards a good cause. I'm not too sure what the cause is going to be yet,
mhm.
but it will be going towards a donation, towards a charity. So I'm not too sure how I feel about publishing, because obviously then they'd be taking a bit of the money, and then it would kind of impact the way that the distribution of the book works.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
but yeah, I mean, I've thought about it. If not, hopefully, as the next Miss Canada, I would love to be able to bring this project nationwide and then deliver books to local libraries and local bookstores. That would be really cool. But
Yeah.
obviously, that'll come with time.
Yes. Well, one step at a time.
Yeah, basically.
I would love to hear a little bit about your creative process for that.
Okay. I think it really started last year. So during like the midst of the pandemic, I would like to say. So I think from the middle of the pandemic, I think I was more so just thinking about where I wanted to go with, you know, my life and what I wanted to do with the rest of, you know, my little pageant journey here.
Mm,
And I really found that something that was really important to me was my vitiligo and how I felt and how I wanted to help others not feel that way.
mhm,
So for me, it kind of went from, you know, starting a podcast to a YouTube channel to making a card game to just kind of thinking about how I could really interact with people on that level. And then it just really hit me that like a children's picture book is the way to go. Because I remember something I said on stage at Miss BC was, I believe children are the key to change. Like I said
mhm.
something along the lines of children are the key to change. And I think that's really stuck with me. So then, you know, I was thinking about how to make a change, what I wanted to do. And it really hit me that a children's picture book might be the way to do it. Yeah. So I started like figuring out what I wanted to do. Honestly, it took me like 6 months to write the script. You would think a children's book is very easy. It is not. It is very difficult
Oh,
because
no. Oh, I do not imagine that it is easy.
it was difficult. That's just like
If
you
it
read
was easy,
Dr.
everyone
Seuss.
would do it.
Right? But like you read Dr. Seuss and it rhymes and it's beautiful and it's perfect. But then like you try to write your own and you're just like very in your head about everything you're saying.
Yeah.
And then I think the hardest part for me was the artwork, because as somebody who loves art and loves working on art, you just never feel like your artwork is finished. So you just kind
Yes.
of keep going or you keep making changes. And I think it was really hard for me to just be like, okay, we're done. Like we're good. Like
Yeah.
we don't need any more changes here. Um,
Sometimes the hardest thing
yeah.
with art being your own harshest critic is deciding when to stop.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, now I'm here working on publishing the book. It's honestly, shipping with COVID has been ridiculous. So I've been waiting for my book for like 3 months now, but it should be here. So I'm very excited. Hopefully, I'll be able to bring a couple copies to the actual pageant so I can distribute them
Oh,
amongst the group.
I
That
would
would be
love to
really
see it.
cool.
That would be
But
so
yeah,
wonderful. It sounds
yeah.
like a great use of pandemic time. I'd say the normal activity for pandemic life was Netflix. And it's great that you were able to find a
Yeah,
passion project that you could do from the comfort of your home to affect these wonderful changes. It's really inspiring.
thank you.
Sounds like you've also got a lot of other stuff going on. YouTube channel, podcast channel, card game. If people want to follow you and keep up to date on those things, how do they find you?
Wow. Honestly, Instagram is the best way to contact me. That is
Yep.
the only app I'm on 24/7.
Okay.
Everything else you will be waiting for like a couple days.
Go to Instagram. Okay.
Yeah. The YouTube channel is still kind of a work in progress because obviously, we with the book, we wanted to launch with my book. So
Mhm.
hopefully by the end of not next week, but the week after that, we'll have a recording of one of the guys, one of the Huskers playing, reading my book. And then from there, we're going to be picking player of the week or like MVP of the week, as the football people call it.
Mhm.
And we were going to do that. And then they'd be reading aloud a book about differences, about being different, or something along the lines, minorities, and just incorporating all types of people
Yeah.
from different walks of life on this YouTube channel throughout their season. So we'd be starting in, oh my gosh, we'd be starting at the end of May, which is
Mhm.
actually pageant weekend, is the start of the season. So pageant weekend, and then leading up to the end of August. So
Okay, wonderful. So you've got all that in the pipeline ready to go.
yeah, I mean, hopefully, it's
That's
very
the plan. That's the plan. As long
yeah.
as there's no COVID cove balls. You mentioned that you were from Chilliwack. I think Sydney is also from Chilliwack.
Sydney. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I love Sydney. I'm gonna put that out there. I'm actually from Abbotsford, so I live in Abbotsford. But
Okay.
Sid and I were like we're doing the same degree. We're done the same degree. We work
Uh-huh.
with the same football team. She's like my best friend, and I kind of talked her into competing. So
She had mentioned that you were a key motivator.
yeah, yeah.
That's
I
so
mean,
fun that you get to do this with a very close friend. That's very
yeah, I
exciting.
mean, I'm very excited. Sydney's been practicing her French, and if you know me, you know how bad I am at French. So I'm very glad that I have a friend that knows what she's doing. And then if we get lost together, right? So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
exactly right.
yeah.
So you obviously have some pageant experience. How are you preparing in the lead up to this one specifically?
I think with this one, I really wanted to focus on how I was feeling at the pageant. Like with
Mhm.
previous pageants, I felt like, oh, I could have done more, or hey, I don't feel 100% content with myself or where I'm at in life. And I
Mhm.
think this one, everything's just been aligning for me. Like I've graduated, I'm starting a new job, I've
Yeah.
got this book coming up, like I have the entire summer planned with book readings in my local libraries. And then have my whole year planned out. And I think a lot of it's just come from doing something and then finding
Mhm.
value in what I'm doing. And then the rest of it's just been super easy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not been super easy. But I mean like just everything like leading up to the pageant, I'm not stressed or anything anymore, which is great.
A lot of the hard work sounds like it's already done, which is nice.
Yeah. So I think it's just that's something I really that's something I told Sid actually, is that before the pageant is when all the hard work is done. And when you're there, you just want to have fun and experience it because I've never met you. I've never met any of the other girls. And I don't want to be focused on, how I'm feeling or like, other things like interview or whatnot. Like I just want to make friends and have a good time.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's such a great opportunity to make connections with like-minded women. It is
Mhm.
dozens of amazing women passionate about wonderful causes, and they're my kind of people. So I'm so excited to meet
Yeah.
everyone.
Hmm. I definitely agree with that 100%.
Other than taking home the crown, what are you hoping to achieve by participating?
I think I'm really just hoping to feel confident and gain that confidence in myself because
Mhm.
that's something I've been working on the last year or so is just being, a representative for the vitiligo community. So
Yeah.
if I do not take home the crown, then I think what I do want to take home is just knowing that I was that role model for other kids to be like, hey, you know what? I look like her and she did that. I can do that too.
Mm.
Just kind of be that person. And regardless of whether or not I win, I'm still going to go ahead and do, everything related to my book and everything with the Huskers. Like it's still very important to me. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I'm just hoping to outreach my message.
Yeah, certainly.
Yes.
You'd mentioned that confidence was something you were working on, and I think that that's something that a lot of people struggle with. Is there particular things that you have been doing to try and improve your confidence?
I think just spending time with myself. Like I've been reading a lot, which is crazy. Brianna Wiest has made a lot of money off of me.
Oh,
But
yes. What books? What are her top pick books?
ooh, The Mountain is You. The 101 essays that will change the way you think. They will actually change the way you think. And This Is How We Heal.
Okay, interesting. I
Yeah.
haven't read those, but I will put them on my to read list.
They are very good. They really dive into The Mountain is You is my current favorite, and it really dives into how you self-sabotage. And I feel like when
Uh-huh.
something's going too well for me, I'll get really panicky and I'll be like, something must be wrong. Like it can't be
I can
healthy.
relate. Yes.
Yeah, but it really gives you like the tools, and it really just makes you feel like what you're going through, someone else is going through as well. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, interesting. Sounds like a great read.
yeah.
What do you think are the essential qualities for a Miss Canada to have?
Ooh, I think somebody very friendly. Like I feel
Mhm.
like, if you're representing an organization such as Miss Canada, like previous Miss Canadas, I think I've met three of them, and they've all been so warm and friendly and kind and very driven. They all know
Mm,
what they want, and they all have a plan for what they're doing. And something that I really think that a Miss Canada should embody is the confidence, the motivation, and the drive. Because, I feel like at the end of the day, a title is just a title, but what you do with it is what you do with it. And that's what
yeah,
really brings value to the title holder as a
yeah.
whole.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. That's a great insight. A lot of people have a cause that they're passionate about when they go into a pageant. You touched on having your book, but I believe you also work with the Save Your Skin Foundation.
mhm.
Can you
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about how you came to find out about them and what you do with them?
Yeah. So the Safer Skin Foundation was actually my primary sponsor for Miss BC. So I did enter the pageant as Miss Savior Skin. And at that point, I really hadn't developed my own platform. So it was more so just, advocating and raising awareness for melanoma and non melanoma cancers. And then over the couple of years that I've been working with them, I've been, attending events with them. Maybe I've gone into a couple classrooms and done a little speech with them. So I've
Mhm.
kind of presented their information, but I've never really done something of my own before. So this time around, they actually have sponsored half of my book. So they've paid for half of it, which is
Oh,
lovely.
wonderful.
And yeah, so I'm still currently working with them. May is Melanoma Awareness Month. So we are working on certain projects. But yeah,
Is this an organization that anyone is able to get involved with?
I mean, I would hope so. I mean, the Savior Skin Foundation, they're
We all
basically,
have skin, so yeah, that's a really great
yes,
start.
yeah. I mean, they are a charity who support their patients with money and without money. So they do provide resources as well as funding for people that are suffering from melanoma, because it's actually funded by two people who did suffer from melanoma but did survive.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, they are very kind. I love Kathy and I love Amy and Marianne. They're very sweet people. They're very passionate about what they do. And that's what I feel like they've really just been role models for me. So I've taken what they've given me and I've been able to put that towards my own book.
Yeah, I love that. When you are presenting on behalf of them, what kind of information do you share?
It's usually just more so how to detect, because 100% of well, not 100%, 99% of melanoma is preventable, and
Mhm.
it's just honestly just through regular skin checks. Like if you see something, like especially scalps, we've been working on this stylites program, which is basically reaching out to hairstylists and hair salons and equipping them with the tools to be able to, like when they're doing your hair, nobody really ever touches your hair unless you're at a hair salon.
Yeah.
So, like, nobody really thoroughly goes through it. So, we've been equipping them with the tools to be able to see if whether there's an abnormal growth that they can discover, or if there's something else going on. So,
That's a
yeah,
really interesting solve for that problem as well, because as
yeah,
you said, the hairdressers are the people that touch our hair. So if that was a standard practice to get that checked, then that would go a long way to solving that problem.
yeah, exactly. So, it's just more so preventing it than anything else, is what we
Mhm.
educate on.
How often do you recommend that people do get their skin checked?
Well, they recommend every 6 months. So that's
Okay.
the standard of what the Canadian Dermatological Association recommends. But I
You check
personally
by
like,
yourself or see a professional?
I mean, you can definitely check by yourself. The only thing is your back and other areas that you aren't able to see that might
Of
become an
course.
issue. So they do recommend that you do actually go see your dermatologist. But if you don't want to go see your dermatologist, or if you don't have access to one, you can just ask a family member. I was gonna say friend, but that might be a very close friend.
Your close friends specifically. I believe that there is some technology that has come out in the last couple of years. It's a star mapping technology where you take a photo of your front and then you take a photo of your back, and it maps all of your freckles and things of the
Yeah.
sort. And then it monitors it. So when you take a new photo, it detects any abnormalities for things that you may not have
Hmm.
detected yourself. So this really interesting use of technology that's sort of in that
That's
realm.
very cool. I did not know that. That's very cool.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I have some fun get to know you questions. These are just
Okay.
things about like what are your favorites? So we'll dive into those. What is your favorite food?
Pizza. Anyone who knows me, hands down pizza. I
Excellent
want at
decision.
my wedding.
Excellent decision. Is there a particular flavor of pizza?
Barbecue chicken. Are you asking me this because when we're there, we're gonna get pizza?
I wasn't, but I will.
Oh my gosh. No, barbecue chicken pizza with pineapple.
Oh, I don't think
Hmm.
I've had that combo. Yeah,
It's
so I
very
think
good.
getting pizza is on the to-do list.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A marine biologist.
Really? That is a
Yeah.
very technical occupation for a child. How did you land at that?
I think I just really loved being like I grew up a swimmer. So being in
Okay.
the water, I loved the ocean, I loved animals, I loved all wildlife, and it just made sense to me because I thought when you were a marine biologist, you'd just be swimming in the ocean, hanging out with fun animals, you
But
know?
of course.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
I love that. And when did
Yeah.
you decide to steer into the realm of kin instead?
I think I hit first year like biology and I realized that I was not cut out for physics or chemistry or
Okay.
anything like
That's
that.
fair. There's no swimming classes in biology. Is this the right place?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So, in my first year actually of bio, I was partnered up because in our bio classes, you have to have a lab as well as the actual
Mhm.
lecture. So, I had actually met my lab partner in my lecture class, and she was doing a Bachelor of Kin. And she was like, hey, you know what? You sound like this is something you would really like. Like, you should go for it. So, me being me was like, I hated physics. I hated chemistry. I struggled through calculus and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do a degree like this. Like, there's
Mhm.
just no way. So, over the summer, I signed up for Kin 170, which is anatomy and physiology. And then the rest is just kind of history. I loved it from there. And, you know, growing up from a kid who hated exercise to like encouraging others to exercise, it's so weird and so hypocritical, but like, you never know where life's going to take you, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I wouldn't say it's hypocritical. It's learning new information. That's how we
yeah.
all change as people. Just because you
Yeah.
thought of something as a kid does not mean that you have to think of it forever. That makes you a good person.
Yeah. I
Open to
mean, I think
change.
it was also very like for me personally, I didn't like I don't know what it was, but I didn't like working out with guys. I just feel like growing
Mhm.
up, like, you know how you have those co-ed classes? I just
Yes,
didn't
yeah.
like it. I felt like they were too intense about everything, and I'm very
They
exercise is
were.
fun. Yeah, they were
I can
very
tell you as someone who had to work out with guys growing up, they were too intense. We'd
they
be playing
were too
indoor
intense.
soccer and they'd be like, you have to be goalie. Like, I'm gonna die if you hit me with that ball. I cannot do this.
Oh my gosh, right? Especially like that's why I really appreciated when in high school we had the option of doing a female only gym class. And
Mhm.
I got an A in gym. And if you knew me the previous year, I'd gotten like a B because I wasn't showing up as much as I probably should have been. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is great. Like the difference it really makes, right?
It
So,
does make a very significant difference. Yeah. I'm glad
mhm,
that you were able to find a passion for exercising because it is something that has such a significant effect on your life and your mental
mhm.
health.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely find that I've been very happy and just very like energized. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of bouncing off the walls right now.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't
yeah.
getting that vibe. You're sitting very still, but I'm glad that you're feeling the energy.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you have favorite sports?
Ooh, definitely swimming and soccer. Soccer is
Okay.
something I've been wanting to go back to for forever. I played it throughout middle school and high school. I did make a university team as well, but I didn't actually end up playing for them just because I tore my MCL, my meniscus. Um,
Tears
and
are
I
the
recently,
worst.
yeah, and then I just recently had surgery and I'm still recovering from it, but we're getting
Mhm.
there and hopefully this summer, fingers crossed.
I will keep my fingers crossed for you too.
Thank you.
Is there a favorite vacation that you have been on?
A favorite vacation. Ooh.
Or place you
Darn.
visited? Doesn't have to necessarily have been a vacation.
I don't really go anywhere. I'm a
Okay.
very homebody type human. But I think my favorite place that I've been has to be Seattle. I think
Okay.
it's very city, which is something I very like. I very much so like. But I also it's also very country enough, you know? Like it's kind of the
Mhm.
in between. It's kind of like Abbotsford, where it's like a city in the country, but it's not really it's kind of
Yeah.
a city and a country city. So I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm making any sense, but like
No,
it's
no,
in the
you
middle.
are. And I would say, in your defense, BC is probably the prettiest part of Canada. So it's totally fine for that just to be your
Mhm.
favorite.
Yeah.
If you want
Honestly, just
nature,
like West
you
Coast.
go to BC.
Yeah, basically, honestly, just anything West Coast is like where I belong. So
Yeah, it's very,
not
very
that I'm hating
beautiful.
on East Coast. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong,
no.
East Coasters.
I love the East Coast. That's where I live. But when I first came to Canada, I had landed in BC and, looking at the forests and the mountains, it was just such a gorgeous scape. And I was like, wow, the beauty of Canada is something to behold. And I just
Mhm.
assumed that it was all like that. And then I went to Manitoba. Not everything is like that. Manitoba's lovely as well, but it's very flat. It's
Mhm.
certainly not.
Oh yeah.
You don't have the mountains like you do in BC.
Yeah, no, that's something I feel like I would definitely miss because I've been considering applying to the University of Alberta.
Okay.
And I've been very like I don't like do you know how weird it's gonna be to look up and not see mountains? Like I feel like
I'm
it's
sure
gonna
you would get
be
used to it.
so
But
yeah, but that
Alberta is
sounds so
also
weird.
very pretty. In Edmonton, yeah, it's also a very nice city. It does have that vibe of being a city, but in 20 minutes you can drive and be in a forest. So it still does
Okay.
have that combination of feelings, I think.
Okay, that's exactly the combination I like, as you can tell.
Yeah, it's a good combination to have. I
Mhm.
currently live in the heart of Toronto, so I do not have that, but when I do, I very much appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
What do you do for fun? Or do you have time for hobbies? Because you seem like a very busy lady.
I think my hobbies have just been school. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah. I study and I wrote a book. They are my hobbies.
Basically, I mean, do I have time to sleep? No. No. I think the only real hobby I've really had recently has just been athletic training. That's not even a hobby really. It's more so
Mhm.
just like it's volunteer work because it is a volunteer athletic training position with the Huskers is what I worked last season. And obviously I'm going back this season, so that's again. So I'm just gonna say athletic training is my hobby or
Yeah, that's
school.
great. It just so happens that what you're studying is something that you love, which I think is
Yeah.
the biggest bonus you can get career-wise.
Yeah. I mean, the only other hobby I can really think of is reading. I love reading. I think reading's so important. That's why I wrote a children's book to
Yes,
encourage them to read. But, if I'm not out on a field or in a library, I am at a bookstore.
I
So,
love that. I love that. Yes, bookstores have a very nice vibe. You just meander, peruse. Yeah, it's
oh,
very
yeah.
relaxing.
Especially there's this one in Langley where it's like a bookstore, but they have a Starbucks built into it. And I
Ah,
don't know if that is heaven to you, but that is heaven to me.
yeah. Uh, Sometimes I work in the US and some of the big strip malls will have the coffee shop built into the bookstore. And it's totally normal to pick a book up off a shelf and then just sit there with a coffee. Like I could stay here for so long.
Me. Honestly, me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something Canada can implement because I would go to that store to buy my books for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think I'd be there like open to close.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
really.
Just spend my
But
Saturdays and Sundays there, my weekends, you know.
uh-huh, uh-huh, it sounds like a great place to be. It's where all the cool kids would be.
Hmm.
If I want to open a business one day, I'll put that on my list.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would be your first customer.
Excellent. I'll bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Here's a fun one for you. If you were given a genie lamp and were granted three wishes, what would you wish for?
Hmm. That's a good question. I think my first wish would be to get paid to read. That would be really cool. Just because
That
I
would
love
be
my job and I love what I do, but I also spend a fair amount of time reading. And if I was getting paid for the reading I was doing, that'd be
just
pretty
be
great.
making bank.
Yeah, just like
Excellent.
24/7, you know. Um, oh my gosh. Okay, paid to read. I think I would definitely want to buy my parents a house. I feel
Mhm.
like that's a big one for me because, my parents have been kind of my biggest supporters. Um, and they're the whole reason why I'm here and why I'm writing the book. Like, it was actually my mom's idea to write a book and,
Oh, that's
like
so
do
sweet.
everything I want to do. Like, I remember we were in a Starbucks drive through one day and I was like, Mom, like, I want to do something, but I don't know what. And she was
Mm.
like, Well, you're passionate about reading, you're pretty good at art. Emphasis on pretty good. Okay. I like writing, I like working with kids. So she was like, why don't you just write a children's picture book? And after that, it's just been kind of like straight from there. So I feel like they've been like my number one guidance.
Yeah.
So I think buying them a home and just obviously they have a home, but I would want to pay off their home. So like,
Mhm.
they don't have to work anymore and they could just kind of chill. That would be great. And then I think the third one would be make sure my dog lives forever.
Oh,
I
that is an excellent wish.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, maybe not forever, but maybe till I live, we could go out together. So at least I can see
Yes.
her in
Yeah.
heaven, sort of thing. But I don't know. I got Ava, which is my dog. I
Mhm.
got Pyrenees. She's turning 2 this year. During the pandemic, and I've had a lot of time to spend with her. So she's become easily my best friend.
Yes.
So I don't know how I'm gonna last this week without her because Ava being a COVID puppy, I've never really had to go anywhere before. So this is
Yeah.
gonna be my
And
first
how will
week
she
long
last
trip.
without you?
Yeah, literally. I feed her, I take her out on walks. Like, I don't know what she's gonna do without me. But
Poor Ava.
I know.
But think of how happy she will be when you get back.
I know my parents have already started talking to me and they're like, you know what, when you get back, we're gonna have to like Ava's 120 pounds. Okay, she's the size of me. So what we're the like the current plan is to bring Ava into the backyard and then to present me to her. And then she can maul as much as she wants. Because in our home we have like a little lobby entrance thing and then we've got some stairs and then up the stairs is the living room where Ava likes to like sleep the most or hang out the most, but like there's also this little space, like it's this little gapping thing, and she can easily jump on the couch and dive off of there and make a jump for it. So they were like, to make sure Ava's safe when she sees you,
Yes, we don't need her
backyard.
diving off a balcony, so
Yeah,
she's
that would be bad.
excited.
That would be bad, but I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait to get mauled. Hopefully she'll maul me. Watch her walk away from me, literally nonchalantly, just like, you were gone? Oh, I didn't even realize you were gone.
Heart just breaks.
Yeah, he sees me going.
I'm sure she will be very, very happy to see you.
Hopefully she remembers me. That would be a big
Oh,
one.
of course she'll remember you. My goodness.
Hopefully, yeah. Those are my 3 wishes.
I love
Yeah.
those. They're really great wishes. Wishes. Well done. For those that are watching this and are inspired by what you're doing and think, maybe I want to try a pageant out for myself, what would you say to them?
I think go for it. I think when I competed in my first pageant, honestly, it was just so fun. Like, I wasn't concerned about winning. I wasn't concerned about bringing home a title. I wasn't concerned about what I was doing. I think it was more so just go for it and experience it. And if you like the experience, everything else is going to come with it. So, this is what I told Sydney. Obviously, Sid, if you're watching this, just know that I love you. But like, like we were talking, and I was like, like the number one thing I took home from Miss BC was the pageant sisterhood, and
Mhm.
just meeting like-minded people, like you said. It's incredible. Like, you're in a room full of 30 to 40 other women that want to do incredible things, and the energy is immaculate, is what I'm gonna say. But yeah, so I think honestly, just go for it. Like, you're gonna compete in one, and then you're gonna be spending all your money on pageants like I am. So
Do it
mhm,
because, I mean, what can go wrong with having to buy pretty dresses and making new friends? Seems like a pretty
exactly.
good reason.
Exactly. Like, when are you ever going to wear a pretty dress like that ever again? Like,
Yeah,
life
yeah.
doesn't present many opportunities, so when it does, you're supposed to take it.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
There should be more ball gowns in our everyday life, but for now, pageantry will have to be our outlet.
Yes. Honestly, I would love that. We should go back to the Bridgerton era.
I
I'm
wouldn't
just
mind
saying.
it. I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, I'm sure that I would tire of spending hours to get ready every morning, but I would like the option. Like,
Oh yeah.
I could wear my yoga pants to work, or I could Bridgerton. That would be
Yeah, exactly. And it
nice.
wouldn't be weird because I feel like I can try to do that, but people are like, "Where are you going? Like a medieval book
No.
reading, or what's happening?" And you're just like, "No."
I just felt like being fancy today, okay?
Yeah, literally. Like, I just want to be able to wear my prom dress up. That'd be great.
Yes,
Just like
yes,
casually in Dairy Queen.
yes.
That would work.
Casually wearing prom dresses is the best way to wear them. Like, I need to go buy
Mhm.
cheese. It's time to don the prom dress.
Yeah, literally. It's a joyous occasion, okay? Like,
It
we
it
have.
is, it is. It's worth celebrating.
Mhm.
Might I say, it has been an absolute delight talking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me and my coughing, but thank you for having me mostly.